Hi guys, and welcome back to another StarCraft Pro replay cast from the Broodwar scene, as we have here spawning in the upper left in the yellow it is ZvT from Hungary, and his opponent spawning here in the lower left in the purple it is HOBBANG. I believe he is from South Korea, but I'm not sure of this. It is once again a 4 spawning location map, Terran versus Zerg, in another Pro replay cast here on this channel. Just like I told you, I'm going to try to be as active as possible, and yeah, these games have been played very recently, I believe 2023 or 2024 if I remember correctly. So yeah, as you can also see from the thumbnail, it is a small spoiler. We are going to be seeing indeed the Ultralisk here from ZvT, but it is going to work out or not versus the Terran. We're about to find out. And yeah, let's have a look at the build orders very soon. It looks like ZvT is going for a fast expansion. He's going for an Overlord. No spawning pool yet, so he doesn't wish to rush his opponent. And let's have a look at the Terran going for a supply depot here, so it's going to be followed up very soon with a barracks, yeah, in order to very likely produce massive amounts of marines with medics. Even fire bats could be an option here for him versus the Zerg, or he might even try mech build order. He might try some tanks, some vultures. It could be a possibility for the Terran, but yeah, it is very rare to be seen Terrans going for that. As the Terran is now also sending out his first scout, the Overlord is also out. We see also ZvT with his scout, and we see the fast expansion here for him. Should be followed up, of course, very soon with a spawning pool and gas as the two workers meet here. So very soon they are going to be seeing the position from each other and what exactly the build order is. ZvT is closing here for the Overlord. Notice how he has also changed the direction very soon here for ZvT. As in comes the Choni, is going to try perhaps to be annoying, is going to try to inflict some damage, but yeah, the Terran really fast into respawn again. Very soon we're going to be seeing the first marine popping out here for the Terran. ZvT is still roaming around. Let's check the SCV also standing here, checking for the tier 2 upgrade, which is very likely going to happen also very soon for the Zerg, as many Zergs also like to go for that lurker upgrade, or even Mutalisk. Mutalisk could also be an option here for ZvT. Yeah, he saw the fast expansion timing as he's retreating now a little bit with his drone. There is the one barracks. We also see what this could be, academy perhaps. No, it's just a supply depot here for the Terran, as the SCV is still waiting here. Interesting enough, ZvT not reacting. Perhaps just the first Zerglings will attack him, so he doesn't wish his SCV yet to go away, but we might see a tier 2, yes indeed, a tier 2 upgrade here on the expansion point. So yeah, ZvT tried to fool the Terran, but he is of course fast into coming here into this location. He sees the creep already on the ground, so he knows that it is a tier 2 upgrade into this location. So a smart move here by the Terran as he's securing his expansion with a bunker. So nice job here by the Terran. ZvT as well with that expansion tier 2. Is it going to be lurkers? Is it going to be Mutalisk? We're about to find out very soon, as the first Zerglings are moving out on the map now straight for the expansion point. But yeah, the bunker has finished in time and the marines are also in. Let's check the main from the Terran. Still 2 barracks, gas is going up, and he should of course be able to hold, as there is a nice wall of being prepared here for the Terran. Yeah, the SCV is still roaming around, checking the timer from the tier 2, and also checking if it's going to be a Spire or a Hydralisk then into the main from the Terran, from the Zerg, sorry. So yeah, nice job here by the Terran scouting this, but he might get surrounded very soon by the Zerglings. And we see a hidden building here. It is indeed a Spire, but ZvT could of course cancel this Spire and go for a Hydralisk then. Here is his Hydralisk then. So let's have a look what exactly his intentions are. Is he going to keep the Spire and the Hydralisk then? We're about to find out, as it looks like indeed he is keeping the Spire. So quite interesting move here by ZvT. The Hydralisk then has been finished, so very soon we are going to be very likely seeing Hydralisk and even lurkers on the ground. And there we have the Terran building more and more of those supply depots. There is his academy for the stimmed marines for the upgrades. No engineering bay yet, interesting enough here for the Terran, so no intentions into going into those important upgrades for him, as we have a small stalemate now, as the Zerglings are still on hold position. And yeah, we should look at the production tab. Just overloads are being made. There is steam for the Terran. Finally, we do see an engineering bay from him made into this location. So of course, we will need that for the upgrades for the Marines. We have some medics being produced. So it looks like it's going to be Marines with medics early on for the Terran, as he's pretty much holding his ground here into this location. And perhaps ZvT as well will hold this location and tries indeed a expansion into the upper right part, so a smart proof here by the Zerg, gaining him perhaps a small advantage. It's a long way here for the Terran to scout this, and he will very likely scan this location very soon with his comsat satellite, either that location or here, perhaps this one here as well. But of course many Zergs really like to expand as far as possible, given the fact that there is a Nidal Swarm that can be created. And we see the first Mutalisk actually being produced. We also have the fire range being upgraded and the upgrade for the Marines, as the Terran actually now feeling confident to move out with his Marines, with his medics, straight towards this location. I believe he's very lucky scan this, and he might even take out quite a couple of Zerglings, but in the end there are some lots and lots of Mutalisk now being here into this location attacking, and this will of course force the Marines to come back into defending. Quite lots and lots of Mutalisk, 8 of them. So the Terran has to make up his mind. Is he going to move out to kill the expansion, or is he going to stay home to defend? He's perhaps waiting for the reinforcements to pop out here, and also dealing damage towards those Mutalisk here in the air. But yeah, more and more of those drones are now getting produced here for ZvT, as he's nicely buying time with those Mutalisk. He even has some Zerglings on the ground, so of course the Terran doesn't know how many Zerglings there are out there. This is why he decides to stay into this position to wait perhaps for more and more Marines. Perhaps he's even going to wait for the upgrade. There we have some Hydralisk and some Lurker tech being upgraded. And yeah, ZvT pretty much in control of the middle of the map, and there comes the move out. He might snipe a Mutalisk or two as he's moving out. His weapons one to be finished really soon. ZvT tries his best to take out the reinforcements with some good micro here by him. Nicely microing. And a good steam here by the Terran, as some reinforcements have arrived, so it's quite a large amount of those Marines with medics into this location. But the expansion is gaining more and more time, and the Zerg might even add some Sunkens into that location. Actually, one Sunken is being added here with some Lurkers, so the Marines still into this location, still getting healed by the medics. So quite a hard game here for the Terran early on, as ZvT is pretty much in control of the game. He has so many Mutalisk out. Very soon the Terran really has to make up his mind. Is he going to attack or just stay here to defend near to his base? Of course, it could be also run by with some Zerglings. At the same time, the Terran could of course secure another expansion point, as he decides to move out now with only one SCV. What exactly is the plan of this SCV? Perhaps to scout the other expansions here from the Zerg. Quite an interesting move here by the Terran, as more and more action is happening into the middle of the map. The Mutalisk actually taking quite some damage, but the micro is really good here for ZvT, as he's able to snap some of those units, even actually moving here forward, losing some Mutalisk here however. So quite a interesting move here by him, perhaps a mistake, but I believe he's going to try to transition into some other units, as he saw so many Marines moving out. He is very likely going to transition indeed into those Lurkers, so the perfect counter for those Marines are of course the Lurkers on the ground, and perhaps some Sunkens into this location. He does have 2 Sunkens almost here, 3 Lurkers into this location. Sadly the Terran only has comsat into scanning, so it will be a very hard move here for him into this one ramp. So he very likely might try to add some dropships into this location. Let's see what he is going to opt for, as his Marines and medics are moving forward. At the same time, the Mutalisk are just roaming around, not that many of them being left alive, just 4, and they take quite some damage. So yeah, these 4 Mutalisk of course just buy a little bit of time for the Zerg, but yeah, in comes the scan, so he has to move out now. The first Lurkers are taking some damage, but they are on the high ground, and the scan is pretty much going to expire very soon. However, another scan is getting followed up, and the Lurkers are very likely going to fall here, but at what cost here for the Terran, as he's only at 4 Marines. Luckily for him, there are no Sunkens here into this location, so the drones have to pull back, but at the same time the reinforcements for ZvT are moving forward. Yeah, the Marines did a good job, but in the end This is very likely going to get cleared very soon by the Zerglings, and even the drones are getting their attacks here against the Marines. So yeah, lurkers on the high ground, very good counter against so many Marines. We see a science vessel being produced, some more upgrades are getting done. Let's check the 0 to 1, tanks 0 to 0. Let's have a look at the Zerg, still 0-0, and yet another SCV is moving out here. Perhaps some misclick, misrally here by the Terran, as he's moving out now with his main force, this time with tanks and a science vessel in the air. Of course, the tanks to deal with the lurkers, and at the same time a science vessel for detection and even irradiance against all of those units. Let's check the main from ZvT. More units are getting produced, more hatcheries and a defiler then. So of course defilers much needed against the Marines. Yeah, the siege continues here, the reinforcements are pouring forward for the Terran. ZvT very soon might be in some serious trouble, as the tanks will of course be a great additional counter towards those lurkers, and we do have detection with the science vessel, and very soon he's very likely going to siege up here. He needs to protect, however, those tanks. They're a little bit exposed here. Nice defensive matrix onto this one Marine. Great micro here by the Terran. Really nicely done, but so much splash damage here out of those lurkers. I believe the Zerg is indeed going to be able to hold. A nice trick here by the Terran with the defensive matrix, but in the end there's so many lurkers and even Sunkers in the back. So yeah, the Zerg holds, and his economy is looking more and more better here, as more and more Sunkens are getting produced here for ZvT, as we even have the tier 3 upgrade, of course much needed for those Ultralisk. And yeah, quite a nice try here by the Terran, but I believe he needed more tanks. Sadly for him, the tanks were a little bit exposed in the front, and some misrallies here by the Terran as the reinforcements are pouring forward. Once again, 2 tanks, 2 science vessels, some irradiance might be casted in a great range here by this one tank, and sadly here for him, once again he's going to lose a tank to Zerglings, and now we have the defiler on the ground here. And yeah, with Dark Swarm of course should be able to push this back. The tank might take some damage, so great timing counter here by ZvT with the defilers. Was a great counter, and the Zerg is now feeling confident to move forward. One lurker has been sniped. Dark Swarm is online, but some Zerglings will of course fall for that energy. And yeah, the Terran decides to move out to steam up straight into this location. I believe a dropship would have been really good here, just to take care of this one. Perhaps instead of the tanks he might have opted for a dropship. Would have been great also here, but ZvT of course thinking about that. He has those scourges in the air, so of course nice pro move here by the player from Hungary versus his opponent. Scourges of course to fend off the attack from any incoming dropships, and then also nice spread here with those overlords on the ground. Some units are being left here to secure the expansion. At the same time there is a move out here by ZvT. Sadly for him, some lurkers will take damage. No defilers, actually there is a defiler here into this location, so he should be able to hold as slowly but steadily we close towards the 15-minute mark. The defiler finally getting irradiated is going to get killed, and we see the tank on the ground, but more and more of those misrallies here by the Terran, just losing him unit after unit. Perhaps he needs to rally those units into a more close location, into the main scourges versus the science vessels in the air. Slowly but steadily the siege this time continues for the Zerg. Some lurkers have made it here out. They took some damage, but yeah, once again a tank has been lost here by the Terran, so he needs to be more careful. Once again, bad rally point here for the units. I believe one barracks has a bad rally point as ZvT is moving forward with his defilers, with his lurkers, holding the ground here, dealing massive amounts of splash damage versus all of those Marines. And now even the Scourge get a good connection against the science vessels. In the meantime, there is an expansion here. It's quite exposed, so the lurkers are very likely going to move forward and snipe it. There's also a interesting bunker here into this location to hold this, but yeah, in come the lurkers, and this expansion has to upload, and the SCVs have to be pulled back. In the meantime, we have a good attack here by the Terran. He tries to nicely spread those units. In the end, he is very likely going to be able or not to take out those lurkers, but at what cost once again, as he's losing unit after unit here. Yeah, the micro is pretty good, but yeah, the splash damage is also very strong out of the lurkers, as we see massive amounts of Zerglings. Let's check the upgrades. 1 carapace versus the 2 upgrades here for the Terran. At the same time, the lurkers are moving forward, so the Terran once again is going to take massive amounts of splash damage. He's trying, of course, to out-micro this, trying, of course, to kite forward, but the lurker is just great versus those marines on the ground. As he needs to pull back, as he needs to regroup, but it looks like ZvT is just coming in from all sides, from the top, from the middle, so these units will be very soon surrounded. So yeah, Zerglings with adrenaline taking a great surround versus the Terran units. All of a sudden the Terran in some serious trouble as the siege continues here. For the Zerg is moving forward straight into the middle line here for the SCVs, and this will be massive amounts of splash damage now against the workers. There are some marines here, there are some tanks on the high ground, so that Terran should be able to hold, but he's losing more and more of those SCVs, and he's actually not mining here, and some Zerglings will fall. So last mining time here for the Terran, and he should be able to hold this, and those tanks on the high ground are really strong here for the Terran. As now finally we see the first incoming Ultralisk on the ground, and Ultralisk, of course, with the Defiler very strong late on. There is the expansion, a little bit forgotten by the Zerg, as in comes the Lurkers, the Ultralisk, and some reinforcements. More and more of those units here for ZvT, as he's going to very likely try to bust here forward, checking for this one expansion. At the same time we do have an attack here, but yeah, let's check the upgrades for the Ultras. Very tanky unit, very strong unit, and they should be able, of course, to take out this bunker. Finally we do see a dropship which is loaded full, but there are 3 Sunkens into this location, as here in comes the attack from ZvT once again with Defilers, with 2 tanky Ultralisk here in the front, dealing massive amounts of damage towards those units on the ground. The Firebats are going to be the answer here against the Ultras, but yeah, the tanks also trying to do some damage. Sadly here for the Terran, he's not really mining anymore, only out of his main, and the tanks are actually dealing now splash damage towards their own units, as ZvT keeps this one Ultralisk finally here. So straight great job here by ZvT, having units all over the place, spread pretty much in control of this map. The army here for the Terran is, however, really strong, 103 supply, so he still has a chance. He's still into this game. Try to drop, of course, here, but yeah, so many Sunkens. I believe he's heading straight towards the main, but there are Scourges in the air, and at the same time we see the Marines trying to secure this location here once again with a nice trick. The Lurker not really dealing any damage towards this one Marine, so looks like the Science Vessel is really strong versus the Lurkers as a counter. And yeah, at the same time there is a drop happening here, but the Scourges and Ultralisk will, of course, take care of this. Upgraded Ultralisk versus only 1 medic here. I believe the medic is being left here to survive, as ZvT is going to regroup in the middle of the map. The Terran is also regrouping to defend his only mining base here, as he's very likely needs to be careful against the Scourges, and the Scourges take out the one Science Vessel. Another Science Vessel here is getting handled. A great defensive matrix versus so many Ultralisk. A nice kite back here by the Terran. Okay, in the end it's just so much Zerg here. I believe it's around 6 Ultralisk, as I believe he's going to wait for some reinforcements, or he's going to try to attack this expansion over here. Yeah, with his Ultralisk, so yeah, the SCVs will take damage, and once again another expansion point is getting cancelled. Marines have even taken Plague now, so much damage here, and this will be, of course, disastrous from ZvT if he's going to pull forward with his Ultralisk with some Zerglings. Yeah, low HP here for those units, and finally ZvT realizes this as he's bringing forward those Ultralisk vague all over the place. The tank is trying, of course, his best to deal splash damage. Reinforcements are pouring in a little bit here for the Terran, but there's just so much Zerg. No Defiler needed now, only the Ultralisk now in the front. The rank is being held by the Terran, but yeah, in the end he still has those Ultralisk on the ground. They're very tanky, very strong, and it's just medics now coming here forward. What exactly can they do? Not that much energy onto them being left, as the SCVs now have to long distance mine this location, and of course this has to be the GG, as the next wave of Zerglings with Ultralisk would have came here forward against the Terran. So yeah, nice game here by ZvT. He was pretty much in control of this game. The Terran also with some great micro, but in the end ZvT's macro game was just way too strong. Let's check the stats really quick, as I'm going to be once again clicking back and forward. good APM here for the Terran player. SZIKY, I don't really know where he's from. I believe he's from South Korea, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm going to Google for his name. So yeah, very interesting game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Tommy signing out.